My last video, I talked about how I was feeling this power of being selfless and just forgetting about my own achievements and my own satisfaction. If I can just forget about that and just think about how can I serve others and be helpful, this kind of selflessness, it does seem to somehow lead to more happiness. Somehow, by forgetting about my own happiness and simply fully involving myself with serving others, I end up becoming more happy so that I can get that happiness that I want and the fulfilling life that I want, strangely, even better by thinking less about it. And yet it came up against this wall. This limitation of this approach is that it is so easy for us to be taken advantage of. Anybody who is living by selflessness, who wants to always be helpful for other people, who is so focused on in any way being useful and valuable to other people, this is just a target for being exploited. People will take advantage, get free help. Hey, can you help me? Hey, I could use your help. Thank you, I could use some more of your help now. Oh, I really need your help again. How about some more help now? It's just too easy to have your energy be just pulled in all different directions and just drained away if we just present ourselves to the world open, saying, here I am, ready to be helpful. Who needs my help? Hello. Of course, maybe not doing that literally with words, but in a sense with a disposition, with a certain energy, being someone who's like, just by their presence and their energy is, I'm ready to serve anybody. That is somebody that is easily taken advantage of. It's the kind of personality that it seems like it can work if you're in a very sheltered place. But somebody with that attitude thrown into the big city, thrown into the wide world, is just like meat on the street, just prey for animals. Just like prey for, like, that kind of attitude is just something that can just be seized upon by people that are just trying to get an easy way. They're trying to get something for nothing. You could call them energy thieves, but in a way, a lot of people are simply being opportunistic. They just will take what they can get. It's not so much that they're actively stealing it from you, but just they will take advantage. If somebody is being helpful, they will simply accept the help and then accept more help and then accept some more. It just seems like it's not possible to really be fully selfless and to really take this attitude. So this leaves me kind of stuck in that, well, I can see the advantage of selflessness, but then the reality of simply living in the world that way is not tenable. So how is it possible to actually carry this out? Someone who is just completely giving to anyone and open to be manipulated really by anybody would be called a fool. And yet somebody that is completely closed off from other people, somebody who just refuses to help anybody because of this fear of being manipulated, in order to avoid being manipulated, to completely cut off from everybody and not be helpful at all, going to that other extreme would also be foolish in its own way. It seems like either of those extremes is foolish. And no matter where you decide to draw the line between giving and protecting yourself from too much giving, somebody's going to call you a fool. You're going to be a fool from one perspective or another. Either you give too much and you're being taken advantage of, you're a fool, or you are holding yourself back, you're avoiding being helpful where you could be, and maybe there might be other words than fool. Maybe they could call you a cynical, a miserly, just a disagreeable, nasty person. But ultimately, being those things is also foolish. So living your life as a disagreeable, nasty, selfish, miserly person does seem like a foolish way to live life. So either way, you can be seen as being foolish in your decision, whether to give or not give. So it seems like it's up to us to decide what kind of fool do we want to be. What is our particular blend of giving and not giving? Now, everybody around us, there's going to be so much clamor, so much demand, that if we are offering free helpfulness, free value, service to others, there will be all kinds of demand for us to throw our energy in that direction. Help this person, help that person, this way, that way. That demand is coming everywhere. If we don't set any specifications, we will simply be torn in all directions. And you could say we would be their fool. If somebody is manipulating us, taking advantage of our generosity, we would become their fool if we do it on their terms. But if we choose on our own terms how we want to give, what does it mean for us to be generous? This is something that we each have to decide. What is our particular brand of being selfless? It can't be helping everybody, so somehow it has to be focused. We can make our recipe of this is how I'm going to give. This is what I'm going to focus my energy in. And we can decide, I am choosing to be helpful in this situation, choosing to be generous, choosing to share my value, share my energy with this person because I believe that this is the best thing to do. And yet it is our decision. It's not because we feel that somebody else is controlling us, that, oh, you know, the way they said it, oh, I have to help them. I feel obligated. I feel manipulated, really. If we set the controls for how we're going to be selfless, then we can decide how best to spend our energy so that rather than being anybody else's fool, we can be our own fool. So it's like deciding, okay, if I have to be some kind of fool anyway, no matter what I do, I'll be some kind of fool. So I will decide what kind of fool I will be. I will set the recipe, set the boundaries, set the limitations, set the focus, set the specifications for how I will be a fool, how I will conduct this life of selfless generosity, and how I will share my energy with the world. So it may not save you from being a fool, certainly won't save me from being a fool, but there's something about being able to set those parameters and say that I'm choosing to live this way because I believe that it is the best way to live. My life, my choice.